Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Rick, Broadman Baptist Church, Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, and we're getting the Broadman Word cranked back up for the new year 2025. This is January 6th, and so this will be the first one of the new year. And everybody starts off the new year wanting to be happy. You ask people, what do they want? I want to be happy. And that means a lot of different things to a lot of different folks. However, what I want to talk to you about today is happiness the way Jesus explained happiness. You know, in Matthew chapters 5 through 7, the Sermon on the Mount, as we call it, Jesus talks about happiness. And he talks about it in terms of real happiness. And of course, we want that, and we want it as much as we can. The happiness that Jesus is talking about is eternal happiness, where it does not depend on anything. And that's where I really want to camp out today. You know, if you take a look at the word happy, it depends on a happening, excuse me. The Old English word luck or circumstance has become happy or derivative of happy. Greek, makarios, that just translates to what our current understanding of happy is. So, but it all is dependent on something. And so, for example, you might enjoy a particular activity in the evening. You might want to watch TV or have a particular meal or whatever it is. But if those things aren't available, the TV doesn't work, electricity goes out, maybe the food you like's not available right then. Those things would then either decrease or maybe eliminate your happiness because it depends on things or things around you or things happening to you or things you're doing. It requires something else. It requires a happening. Requires a person, a place, a thing, a season, you name it. You could go on and on. And thus it's temporary. The happiness that you can get from the world is temporary. You're not going to have the eternal day-to-day constant happiness that everybody would say they want in their life. But Jesus talks about in the Sermon on the Mount a different kind of happiness, an inward joy, one that comes from understanding who you are in Christ, establishing that relationship and giving your all to that relationship so that you can receive from it all of the things that are promised to us in the Bible by God. Those things will be perpetual because God is supernatural and eternal. It's not, your happiness is no longer going to depend on anybody or anything of this world because they will all let you down. And even if they don't, at best, it's temporary. So God's happiness, as talked to us about in the Sermon on the Mount, is not temporary. It's permanent, and it's regardless of what circumstance might be surrounding you. It doesn't depend on anything except you being a professed believer in Christ and being alive not of yourself but in Christ, and for you to be actively engaged in that relationship, because that will produce joy and happiness, and by the way, peace as well. And so what we have is a choice. You can constantly pursue the things of the world, a car, a boat, a vacation, a person, a position, a degree, you name it, go on and on, a certification. You can constantly pursue those things to try to make you happy, but the world's ability to produce more things will far exceed your ability to get them. So you will always be wanting. There will always be a space in your heart that isn't full because you can't always get the next thing. And the happiness will run out of whatever you do currently have. So the other choice is to be permanently happy, perpetually happy, regardless of circumstance. But that's the Jesus happy. And so I would encourage you to truly have the happy life that everybody says that they would have. Change your definition of happy. Change it from things that the world can produce and provide to things that only God can provide through the love of Jesus Christ, by whom you were called, whose grace by which you were called. And so then you can experience a happiness and a joy and a peace that far surpasses anything that this world could produce, and it far surpasses anything that you could get on your own, separate from a relationship with God. So listen, brothers and sisters, be happy, but do it the Jesus way. I love you. I'll talk to you next time.